morning, everybody. Mike Roybal here with IT Colorado. Excuse me. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 security mistakes that small businesses seem to be making. So, you might be thinking that we already take cybersecurity recently, and that's all great. But a lot of smart, successful businesses, they often overlook some very small gaps that hackers are just waiting to exploit. So here's a quick reality check before we dive in. Every 39 seconds, there's a new cyber attack happening somewhere. 43% of attacks are aimed directly at small and medium-sized businesses. 60% of those businesses close within 6 months after a major cyber attack. And it's really no longer a question of if something will happen. It's really a question of when. So the good news is that most breaches happen because of simple, avoidable mistakes. And that's exactly what we're here to fix today. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Michael Roybal. I own and operate IT Colorado. We are based in Loveland. We serve clients nationwide, but a good core of our customers are here in, between Fort Collins, Greeley, Loveland, and Denver. So the number one thing we're going to talk about is over-trusting passwords. So passwords are very important, yes, but they're also the very first thing that a hacker can target. There are billions of stolen credentials that are floating around the dark web right now. And guess what? The hackers, they have the tools that can crack even strong passwords pretty shockingly fast. So most people also reuse passwords across multiple accounts. So that means that if a hacker gets one password, they get access to everything. Even worse, many passwords are stolen, not by brute force, but because someone clicked a phishing email and handed those credentials over willingly. And then sometimes the threat isn't even external. It could be somebody inside the business. So relying on passwords alone is like locking your front door and leaving your windows wide open. The solution is pretty simple for this one. Turn on two-factor authentication, or 2FA, as a lot of people like to call it, wherever it's available, especially for your email, your banking, and all of your cloud accounts. This single step, as simple as it is, it adds a second wall of defense that makes it 99% harder for hackers to break in, even if they have your password. So let's move on to mistake number 2, which is skipping regular updates. So let's be real. Updates always seem to pop up at the worst possible time. You're in the middle of something important, and then suddenly you're asked to restart your device. But here's the danger. Every time that you delay an update, you leave known security holes wide open. When these vulnerabilities are discovered, the software companies like Microsoft or Mac or whoever it might be, they rush to patch them, but the hackers rush to exploit them even faster. So that means that if you haven't updated, you are knowingly leaving the back door open for anybody who wants to walk in. And it's not just your computer operating system either. Your apps, your phones, your antivirus software, everything needs to stay updated to keep you safe. And hackers can even scan networks looking specifically for outdated systems because they know that they're easy prey. The fix: turn on automatic updates wherever possible. And if you can't, build a habit, maybe once a month, where you or your IT person go through and manually update everything. So mistake number 3 is a big one, thinking that it won't happen to you. And I hear this a lot from small businesses. We're too small for hackers to bother with, or we don't have anything valuable that they'd want. The reality is that small businesses are prime targets because hackers know they often have weaker defenses. And it doesn't matter how big or small you are. If you have employee records, client information, financial accounts, you are a valuable target. Attackers aren't personally choosing you. They're running automated scripts looking for any vulnerable business anywhere. It's just like the fishermen. They throw out a big net. They may be going after a specific type of fish, but whatever comes back in, they're bringing onto the boat. Another dangerous attitude is thinking that you'll deal with it when it happens. But trust me, recovery is 10 times harder, more expensive, and even more damaging than prevention ever would have been. And even if you work with an IT company, cybersecurity isn't something that you can just outsource entirely. It is a shared responsibility between you, your team, and your partners. So you have to shift your mindset. Start thinking like a business that's already been targeted. because statistically, you either have been or you will be. So prepare now so that you won't panic later. Mistake number 4 is poor employee training. Technology alone cannot protect you if your team isn't trained properly. And the harsh reality here is that a huge number of breaches happen because someone inside the business made a mistake, usually without even realizing it. A phishing email comes through, it looks convincing, and someone clicks a link. Or they use a weak password because it's easier to remember. Or they download an unauthorized app, or they ignore security warning. These aren't bad people making bad choices. They're busy people trying to get their work done. And that's why you need to make cybersecurity training a part of your culture. It's not a one-time event. Hold quarterly training sessions, run phishing simulations to see who might be vulnerable, and reward people for spotting and reporting suspicious activity, not just punishing mistakes. So when everyone on your team knows how to recognize threats and what to do about them, your business becomes much, much harder to breach. And then last but not least, mistake number 5. And no, this is not having an incident response plan. So let's imagine a worst case scenario. You walk into work one morning and your network is locked. There's no client access, there's no internal communications or emails, and a note demanding ransom in exchange for your data is on your screen. So what happens next? Without an incident response plan, panic sets in, critical time is lost, mistakes are made, and the damage, both financial and reputational, only grows. So having a response plan can't be an afterthought. It is just as important as locks on your doors or insurance on your building. Your incident response plan, it doesn't have to be complicated, but it must exist. At minimum, your plan should include the identity of people who are in charge of making decisions so that they can be notified during an attack. Outlining immediate steps, shutting down systems, isolating the breach, preserving the evidence. Providing communication templates for clients, partners, and even the media if needed. Ensure that you know your legal obligations for reporting breaches. And just like a fire drill, you need to practice the plan before you ever need it. So because in a real emergency, every second and every decision matters. So that's what we got today on the 5 cybersecurity mistakes that a lot of small businesses are making. As always, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to my team. You can book a 15 to 20 minute call at itcolorado.com/book a call. And I'm willing to spend some time and talk to you, see, if we can help you implement any of these things, or if you have any questions, I'm willing to answer those. So I thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we'll talk to you later.